Oslo, Norway. So I visited Oslo not because Norway was on my travel list or anything, but because I wanted to go to Europe, and you have to apply to one of the Schengen countries for a Schengen visa. And I had had issues in the past where I had applied to France and gotten the visa, but then I had entered through another country, and the next time I wanted to apply for a visa, it was a whole thing. So I applied through Norway this time. It seemed like my best bet, and I said, you know what, I need to go there. So that is why I went to Norway. Before we get into it, hit the subscribe button, like my video, share with all your friends that like travel just as much as I do, and of course, leave a comment. So at the immigration point, right, because I flew Lufthansa, so I got into Europe through Germany. I know exactly what I was trying to avoid, so it ended up happening. Anyway, I got to immigration, and then they were asking me, why Norway? I'm like, what do you mean, why Norway? Why not? I guess they were asking that question because not a lot of people go to Norway on vacation or whatever. I said to them that it was because I really wanted to see it, right? One thing that I thought was really funny was that they were asking me that the last time I was in Europe, where did I go? So I said I went to Paris. And then they asked me what I did in Paris. That did I see the loofah? And I'm like, huh? They say loofah. You did not see loofah when you were in Paris? And for the life of me, I couldn't figure out what they were talking about. And then later I clocked. They were talking about the Louvre. I was like, oh, you mean the Louvre? Yes, I went to the Louvre. I thought that was really funny. So anyway, I got into Oslo, and I took, they have these big airport shuttles, yeah, that go from the airport to whatever hotel that it is that you're going to. And when I got on the shuttle, I actually bought like a two-way travel card or travel ticket or whatever, because I was going to go, you know, from the hotel back to the airport. And I got off the shuttle at my hotel, and I remember asking the driver where I was supposed to stay to get the shuttle back to the airport. And she said, oh, you know what, just be at this same stop. That's what she said to me. So I'm like, oh, okay, thank you. So first day in Norway, I head to this park. It's called the Vigelland Park. I had seen pictures of it online, and I thought, you know what, this looks really nice and I want to go. So I went to the park. Man, those pictures online don't do that park any justice. So that park is very, very intense, and I'm not really sure what the sculptor, you know, Sir Vigeland, I'm not sure what was going on in his mind at the point where he was making all those sculptures. But yeah, it was very, very intense. Don't even take my word for it, just see for yourself. So when I left the park, I also went to see the famous Oslo feud. Now, you know, that word is actually spelled F-J-O-R-D. And for some reason, before that time, I hadn't really paid attention to the word. So I didn't know that that's how it was pronounced, you know. But they actually, you know, go F-G and they pronounce it phew. So it's the feud. Very weird stuff. But the Oslo feud is, it's pretty popular. Like, nobody goes to Oslo without going to see it. So I went there to see it, and I wanted to get on the water, but it was actually cold and it was very windy, so I decided against it. But it was beautiful stuff. And you know, one thing is, I kept wishing that I saw Vikings, you know, the series Vikings. I kept wishing that I saw it before I went to Norway. And this is because after seeing Vikings, I had more of like an appreciation for Norway as a place, and I would have definitely gone to the Viking Museum if I had seen that series before going to Norway. But I guess there's always next time, right? Because I'd have loved to see like the Viking ships. You know how back then those Vikings, they used to just raid, they would sail and they would raid a foreign land, and they would just take everything that they see. It would have been fun to see the actual ships that those Vikings used and everything from way back then. It would really have been an experience. I didn't go though, so I guess maybe next time that I do. I also went to see the Royal Palace. It was such a beauty to behold. It was very serene, it was very calm, and it was very peaceful. But my most prominent Oslo experience came when it was time to leave Oslo. So I stood at the stop where the shuttle driver had said I should stay, to be at the airport, right? And I had timed, my flight was supposed to be for 1 p.m. So I timed it, and I was at that stop to get the shuttle so I could get to the airport at 11, which was good time to make a 1 p.m. flight. So, I'm at the stop and I'm waiting. I should mention, they don't speak English in Oslo. Like, that is not their language. I mean, a few people will try to communicate in English, but English is not their language, So I'm there, and I'm waiting for the shuttle, and I'm waiting. I don't see the shuttle. Then eventually I see it from far off, right? And I'm waiting for it to come to where I am. But it now passes another road, and then it goes to somewhere else entirely. And I'm confused, like, where is the shuttle going to? So I asked somebody who was, at the same stop with me. And then she goes, oh, no, wrong stop. You need to go that. Oh, my goodness. At that point, I was going crazy. So I ran to the stop where I was supposed to be at. But unfortunately, the shuttle had gone, And then I felt my best bet was probably going to be to take a taxi. Unfortunately, in Oslo, you literally cannot just flag taxis down on the road. You have to call for a taxi. Now, I had two problems. I didn't know what number to call, and I didn't have a phone. I didn't stay long enough in Oslo to actually get like a SIM or whatever. And my Nigerian phone, I couldn't roam it because my phone wasn't working there. It was a crazy, terrible experience. I had to wait for the 11 o'clock shuttle. And by the time it came and I got on the shuttle and got to the airport, of course, it was too late to board my 1 p.m. flight. My brothers and sisters of God, that is how I missed my flight. It was crazy, and it was not even funny. I was going to Iceland from Oslo, and I missed that flight. I literally had to buy another ticket. I did not find it funny, but that was my experience. I kept trying to call the airline to see whether I could move the flight. No way. I just had to buy another ticket, and I didn't find it funny. And that kind of brings home the fact that whenever you are traveling, it's always a good idea to have more money than you feel that you need, because you never can tell when something will go wrong, and you need to have more money on you, basically, just to get yourself out of a sticky situation. So that was Oslo for me. Visit was very short, but it was very eventful, and I do look forward to going next time to explore a whole lot more of the Viking way of life. I think that'll be really exciting. So don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you, Oslo.